Two more things I want to talk about. I want to talk about a little more about sales process. Just two different sales paths that we're using right now that work the best. And then I want to talk about traffic stuff, because that's obviously a lot of questions. You can build the whole thing, but how do you get people to actually show up to your website? And we're going to talk a little about it tonight, and then tomorrow we're going to spend a lot of time on traffic stuff. So that's the game plan for the next hour. And that's, like I said, we have dinner. Then after dinner, my dad's come down and talk about business structuring, how to protect yourself, some really, really cool stuff that is very counterintuitive, and you need to know it. And anyway, you'll see. It's awesome. Okay, so two things I want to talk about with the sales process. Again, we talked a lot about this. Recently, we've been doing a lot of testing, trying to figure out how to make these things work the best, how to get most people to buy the stuff we're selling. And there's basically two, I don't know if we call them sales processes, but two ways we're doing right now that work really, really well. Okay, and the first one, I'm going to put this. The first one is called free secret. This is one I talk a lot about during micro-continuity. There's one that actually works better called the result-based story. Okay, so I'm going to talk about the two of these real quick. So the first one, the free secret. If anyone through the micro-continuity course, you've seen me talk a lot about this, but what we do is we do a process on the squeeze page and on the sales page. So on the squeeze page, what our headline would be, what our message would be was, I've got a free video that reveals to you the #1 secret about how to shoot a potato, how to do yoga faster, how to tie a hair bow, how to whatever. What we're revealing is the #1 secret to something. Okay, so that was the headline on the squeeze page. It's basically free video reveals the #1 secret. That was the whole message here. And then they put the name, email address in on the next page. The free video we're giving them is the sales video. So we're giving them what they want. The perceived value is really high sales video. And on this video, I'm revealing whatever that #1 secret is, right? Okay, so if you went through my cardio course, a lot of people did this. It works really, really well. I got a free secret revealing #1 secret to how to shoot a potato far. Then the next video, you give that person some value. They come to this page, they land on it, you give value. We talk about this whole thing, value. It's all about value. Give value, people are going to buy. They're going to buy more and more the more value you give. So they come to the page, I give them value. I say, the #1 secret about how to shoot a potato 50 yards farther than your friends is their propellant. And I talk about how we use right guard versus hairspray. Like underarm deodorant shoots far. For whatever reason, when we first started doing it, we were using, we'd always use Aquanet. We always bought Aquanet. I don't know why. We just bought Aquanet, and it did really good. And then my friend one time, Nate, my co-author in our fabulous product, he went and brought the propellant that day, and he brought, it was Right Guard deodorant. We're just like, I'm like, Right Guard? Like, is that even flammable? Like, I didn't know what it was. So we started shooting it, and like, way better. Like, shot like almost twice as far with Right Guard. So that became that became our big secret was that Right Guard was, underarm deodorant was better than hairspray. So that was our big secret. So we told that secret on the video, and people were like, that's a good idea, and they have a little aha moment. If they have that aha moment, that's where they just receive some value. Now it's very easy to say, if you think that's good, I've got 7 more secrets just like this on this free DVD. All you need to do is pay $27, or you need to whatever the thing is. Okay, that's the free secret sales process. This one works really good if you're just launching a new product too, and you don't have any kind of case studies or testimonials, because it's just, I've got a secret, this is what it is, do you want to know it? Here's what it is, if you think that's good, I've got a whole bunch more. Okay, that's the sales process. Very simple, very easy. This is the same process Joy went through with her. You go to startuppreschool.com to see it perfectly. Free video reveals #1 secret too. What's her secret again? What's the?
Well, it's kind of like the #1 secret to making $500,000 or even $4,000 a month spending quality time with your children.
Awesome. And the secret is start a preschool. If you didn't read the domain name above, this is what it now is. So it doesn't have to be a big secret. In fact, the first time I kind of started learning this process and seeing people doing it, there's a guy named Evan Pagan. Some of you guys may have seen him. He owns a site called doubleyourdating.com. They did $29 million this year teaching people how to pick up chicks. Double Your Dating, right? And he had the squeeze page that ran for like I don't know how many years, probably 3 or 4 years, like the longest running, highest converting squeeze page that I've ever seen. And the squeeze page was like, I'm going to give you guys the KISS test. Give me name, email address, I'm going to teach you the KISS test. And so everyone's like, oh, the KISS test, what is it? So you'd opt in, and on the next page there's one paragraph, like 2 sentences. And what it says is, when you're sitting at a doorstep with a girl, you go up there and you move her hair out of her ear. If she pulls into you, that means she wants to kiss you. If she pulls away, it means she doesn't. That was the KISS test. And it says if you're interested in more information, click here, you click there, it takes you to the product. $29 million your company is built off of the KISS test. That was it. Okay? So it doesn't have to be like, here's my secret. First you do this, it doesn't need to be that. It needs to be something that gives them an aha moment. Okay, that dude that's never dated before, and he's just like, what do? I don't know what to do. And all of a sudden he's like, wait, I touch her hair, I can do that. And she moves in, I'm going to kiss her, oh my gosh. Okay, $29 million a year is built off of this secret. So that's the secret you need. It doesn't need a big thing. Switching from Aquanet to RightGuard is the secret. It's not a big deal, but it's something that gives them an aha moment. They receive some value. Now they're interested in what else you got. Okay? So that's that process. Really, really good, really, really easy. And I would say, if I could choose between, this is probably number 2, but we still use a lot in things. Now the best one, I think, is still the result-based story. Okay, if you look at any of our last probably 4 or 5 product launches we've done, they're always tied again to some kind of story, like a result-based story. So with darkside.com secrets, it's so funny. We rebuilt the whole sales process 4 times. The first 4 times I was like, discover the secret about how to use Black Hat SEO. Discover this, and nothing worked. And finally, the last time, Taggart was showing me, he's like, yeah, I did this stupid thing with this little process, and I made $7,200, and it took me, it took like 20 minutes to do a thing, and within 20 hours I made $7,000. And I was like, dang, that's actually a pretty good story. So we went down and found out it was like $7,230. He spent 20 minutes, and it was within 20 hours he'd made that much money. And I was like, that's a good story. So our headline became, free video reveals how one guy made $7,231 in 20 hours using one simple trick. That was the headline for this video here. Okay, I want the free video. The video right here now, what's the story I was telling? We changed the whole story. The story now was, let me tell you this story about this guy. He tried this trick, and he did blah, 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 blah. And I tell the story of that result. People want results, and that's what you're always selling results. Kevin will probably talk to you guys tomorrow about one of the greatest golf ads of all time. John Carlton's writing this ad, and the product was good and everything. Was just like, what's the hook? What's the story? And the guy's like, I don't know. I do this thing. And I can hit really far. And it's really good. And the guy's like, God, there's no hook. There's no hook. And finally, the guy's like, well, the way I learned this, there was this guy who was a one-legged golfer, and he hopped out on the golf course, and he swung, and he hit really far. And the way he has swings, he's got one leg, is he shifted his hip something or whatever it was. And Carlson was like, that's brilliant. So the headline became, the amazing secret of a one-legged golfer that was able to help me chip, I don't know anything about golf, how to hit the thingy farther. That was the headline, right? And but it's a result-based thing. So if you can tie it to a result, so come back to whatever you're selling in, what kind of result can I find on this thing? If you can find a result, and again, it doesn't have to be your result, it can be one of your students, or something you heard about, or something that you go and research the industry, and hey, this guy over here made this doing this type of thing. Now it can be a story. Like let's just say I'm selling SEO services. Even if it's not my own client, I can go out there and say, this guy did SEO to his website. He made $1,400 in 30 minutes with SEO. It doesn't have to be my story. My headline can discover how this guy made $1,400 using SEO. My video could be like, this guy used SEO and made $1,400. Guess what? I'm an SEO company. You want me to do SEO for you? Okay, so it doesn't have to be your story, but if you can tie it to some kind of story. Okay, Chet Holmes runs a really cool company, and he puts people through a process called the core story. And I think you pay the company $9,000, and they'll build the whole core story for you. But it's coming down to figuring out the data and the information, and they build this whole thing out for you. This is your core story. This is your message. This is your whole bunch of stuff like that. But one of the things that they do in that process, they're trying to find out, again, data things that are proof elements. So this is, and the reason why I share that, because they use these things in your sales process and a whole bunch of things. So when you're coming, you're launching your business, you can sit down and figure out, do some research. What are the data elements, the result-based data that can tie back to this thing? What's the result people want? In my business, they want more money. In my fitness business, they want to lose more weight. So if I can say, hey, this guy took this magic cleanse, and here's documented proof where he lost 300 pounds doing this thing, then you come back, and that can be the story. Now, it's better if it's you or if it's one of your clients, but do the research to find the result-based stories. And that's how it works, because the result is what, people want. So if your free video is talking about a result, the video here is sharing the result in a story, and then lead to solution. It makes it a really simple, clean process. Does that make sense? So those are the 2 sales processes. When I'm building my whole thing, I'm looking for, do I have a free secret or do I have a result? If I have a result, that's the way that this whole messaging is happening. If it's a free secret, then that's the way the messaging is happening. Okay? And those are basically the 2 sales processes. I haven't found anything that beats those 2. So those are the 2 we always focus on. You notice most of ours right now are this, unless we don't have a story that we can pull from. Okay. All right. Well, I want to shift gears now for a little bit. What I want to talk about, obviously, there's 2 parts to this business. There's the building of here's the thing I'm selling, and then there's like how do I get people to actually buy this crap, right? That's what it comes down to. So we talked a lot about the building of it, and tomorrow we're going to talk a lot more about traffic and through on, but what I want to spend the next 45 minutes or so is just talking about conceptually how to get traffic to your website. Okay? If you understand the concepts behind it, it becomes a really, really easy process. The problem is that people make it so technical, and they're like, I need to do this, and SEO, and HTML, and blah, 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 and all these things. And it comes down to, again, what I talked about earlier, is outsourcing. You should not be the one that knows how to do all these different things. Yeah, she likes me for that. The goal for you is to understand the process. So I want to teach you guys strategically how to understand traffic. Tomorrow you'll drill into more of the tactics, and the tactical people in here are going to love that. But tonight, I'm not going to talk about tactics. I'm talking about the strategy behind traffic. Because you understand the strategy behind it, then tactics, again, you can outsource the tactics. But you need to, as the entrepreneur, understand the strategy behind it. Okay? So basically, there's a two-step process. Step number one, you always want to ask yourself, is who is my target market? Pretty simple, right? Most people just blow over that. Hey, my target market is men, it's women, it's moms, it's whatever. But you need to get deeper than just who's my target market. Who's your target market, okay? And what's interesting, most products have more than one target market. Okay, they got moms, they've got daycare providers, a lot of people that could be their target market. I want to go even a step further than that. I don't want you just saying this is my target market. For you to be able to craft a good sales presentation, for you to be able to craft all the good product, all this kind of stuff, you need to put yourself in the mind of whoever your target market is. When I write anything for my business, so I'm a lot bigger nerd than most of you guys even think, if you can believe that. When I was in junior high, I used to go down to Macy's, or the grocery store at the time, and I buy Small Business Opportunity magazine. Anyone here read that? Anyone have a subscription to that? Am I the only one that has a subscription to it? It's the greatest magazine in the world. It's 114 pages, and there are 113 pages of ads and one table of contents. That's the entire magazine. I love it. So I get these magazines, I read every single ad, and I call the number. Hey, can you send me your free info kit? Oh, and please sell my name to anyone else that wants it. And I call the next one. Hey, can you send me your info kit? Please sell my name. And I go through the whole thing. And what happened is, like, the mailman would bring so much mail to my house that he would bring it in, and it wouldn't fit in our mailbox. So they'd have to knock on our door, and he'd hand the mail to my parents. My parents were like, thanks a lot. They put it on the kitchen table. I get home from school as a 13-year-old, all excited. I run inside, and there's on the counter, my parents, like 2 or 3 bills and a stack of mail for me. I'm like, oh, I'm so excited. I grab the stack of mail, I run in the thing, and I start reading these sales letters. And I read it. I get so fascinated and excited by just these people that were making money, doing all sorts of things and how they were doing it. And I got so obsessed with that process as a 13-year-old kid. I had no idea what I was doing or how it would work, but I love the process. So when I'm creating products right here, I put myself in the shoes of my target market. And for me, my target market is me when I was 13 years old, sitting in my bedroom, reading the sales letters. I think, was that something that I would have been like, oh my gosh, I need this thing, like, Dad, can I borrow $30, please? Like, would that have got me to ask my dad to borrow some money, or would it not have been exciting? And that's the target market I put myself into. One of my close friends, and actually Scott was just visiting him last week, or yesterday, Mike Morgan, he's a copywriter up in northern Idaho, brilliant copywriter. And I was talking to him one time, he said he got hired to write a sales letter for a woman's product, for a female product. And he's like, I have no idea what women are thinking, as most men can probably relate to. He's like, and I have to write these letters if I'm a woman talking to women. And so he said he went down and he went to a hair salon early in the morning, sat down with a pad of paper and a newspaper, trying to not act like a creep, sat there for like 8 hours, just holding this pad of paper, like acting like he was reading a magazine with a pad of paper, taking notes, listening to the women talk. He said, listen to women that are complaining about stuff, how they're frustrated, and what they hate about men, what they like about this, and the movies they like. And he said, taking notes, just listening, trying to get into the mindset of his target market. He started understanding what they wanted, what their desires, their passions, all that kind of stuff. He said, as soon as he got done with that, he ran home, sat down, and started working on a sales letter. And because he understood the target market that much better, the letter was a success and did really, really well. Okay, most of us don't get that deep into our target market, and we need to. It's not just it's not like a numbers type thing. It's an emotional thing. How do you get into the emotion of that person? If you can understand the emotions they're feeling, everything else becomes easier. The sales process, the product creation, everything. When you understand what it is that their pains are, their pain points, and things like that. Okay. So the first thing is figuring out who is your target market. Now the second thing is very important. Is after you know who your target market is where are those people congregating? Okay? The nice thing about the internet is that people, they congregate together. Now, there's a reason why I use the word congregate. When you hear the word congregation, what do you think? Church. All right. So if I was, well, what's nice about churches, so every single Sunday, all of the Baptists, they congregate together. The Mormons congregate together. Catholics congregate together. Seventh-day Adventists congregate together on Saturday. Everyone's congregating together, right, in different things based on their beliefs and their values. Okay? And what's cool about the internet, or excuse me, what's cool about when you understand your target market, if I'm selling a product to Baptists, where am I going to go to sell that product to? Okay, if there's 300 Baptists sitting in a room with the doors locked, listening to someone, that's the way you want to sell your product to. Okay, if I'm selling the Mormons, there's a whole bunch of Mormons, there's someone to sell to. Okay, and I'm not telling you that because I want you to sell to Baptists or Mormons or anything, but I want you to understand the concept of communities and of people gathering. Okay, what's happened because of the internet, it's the most powerful thing. The reason why we can make so much money so quick on the internet is because people, they self-congregate on the internet. Okay, when I was in high school, these people used to play. Have you ever seen these like sticks, and they flip these sticks around? Have you guys seen those people? There were like these 3 kids in our school, in high school, used to do that, and they'd be dressed in black, and they were like with the weird fingernails, and they'd be flipping these things. We're like, there's the freaks again. And that was like these groups, right? And now back then, there was no internet, so there was just 3 people that were doing that, and they were like the weird outcasts, okay? But what's interesting is that every single school probably had 2 or 3 kids, and one of you guys was that kid, I guarantee it. And there's 2 or 3 kids in every single high school. And what the internet's made the ability is that all these kids that do that kind of thing, they get online, and guess what? They start congregating together and talking about their passions. Okay? Same thing, Magic the Gathering. There's like the step at school. These little kids, these kids in my high school play Magic the Gathering. We're like, you guys are so weird. Right now, there are sites online with millions of people, you know, the 2 or 3 people in each high school that love that game. They're all congregated together, and they're playing Magic the Gathering. Okay, and if I was selling a product called about Magic the Gathering, where would I find these people at? They're self-congregating together, sitting in a pool of people. It's like having a bowl or a bucket full of fish, and you just throw your pole in and pull it out, and it's such an easy way. So what you need to understand is that people online are self-congregating themselves based on beliefs, on values, on hobbies, on talents, on things they're interested in. So my thing is, if you understand who your target market is, all you do is find out where are those people congregating. Okay, all the moms, you told me before, you're targeting moms. Okay, where are they targeting at? They're on mommy blogs. So where are you putting your product at? Brilliant. Is that difficult to do? How much traffic do you think you get from the mom blogs?
Thousands a month. I mean, it's our 3rd biggest traffic source right now because we just started doing it. It'll probably take over at least a second.
Also the forums. Wow.
Yeah, so blogs are good. Forums another thing. Okay, one thing that I got started when I started learning this stuff, I realized I was wrestling at Boise State University, and every single day we go to the computer lab because we had to have like computer time where actually all the student athletes had to spend like, a certain amount of hours in the computer lab. What's funny is all the wrestlers sit over here, and every single one of the wrestlers, guess what we were doing? We weren't working. We were all on the mat.com. That's the big, that's the big wrestling. Every wrestler in the world is on the mat.com, and they're talking about who beat who and this and that and da-da-da. And on the side, if you look at that site, there's like 5 guys that are smart enough in the wrestling market to realize that, and they have banner ads on the side, and they're selling their products. But every wrestler in the world is sitting there on the mat.com doing that. When I went to the potato gun niche, guess what? I had no list of potato gun owners, so I went and I found the potato gun forums. And like I said, the first forum I found had 8,500 people on the forum talking about potato guns all day long. Okay, there's a barrel full of fish. You just got to come in and start shooting them, right? So when you think about that is the forums, the blogs, the things that people are doing, where are they congregating themselves? Okay, when you realize that, it makes it easy from a strategic standpoint. It's not how to do SEO, how do I do PPC, how do I do joint ventures. It's saying, okay, who's my target market? This is who they are. Where are they congregating? They're on this site right here. How do I get these people off this site? Okay, so for example, I like to look at it kind of like mining gold. I've never actually mined gold, unfortunately. I'm sure it's a lot of fun. But I've heard that people are like, they're in a mountain, they're digging for gold, and they struck a vein of gold. They find some gold, usually there's a vein of gold that runs to the mountain. You guys heard that before? So you find some gold, you find a little bit of gold. Here's your mountain. They find a little piece, there's a vein of gold that's running through there. And then over here they find there's a vein of gold. So in the mountains, they're searching for vein of gold. And what I look for is the same kind of thing. I'm out there and I'm saying, okay, my target market, let's say, is moms. Where do I find people? Okay, here's a forum right here, and there's 29,000 moms on here. Boom, I just found a vein of gold. I can go and I can these people that are congregating, how do I tap into those people and get them to come back to my website? Okay, and you can get into the tactics now. Well, I can buy banner ads, I can do a joint venture. I mean, there's a lot of tactical stuff, but right now I just want to focus on where are those people at? Okay, boom, they're here on this forum. And then here's 10 mom blogs, and they all got a ton of traffic, so there's 3 more sites that they're congregating at. Okay, then, hey, someone over here, they're a smart marketer. They've been to Russell's course. They've been building lists. They've got 50,000 moms on an email list. Boom, there's a congregation of 50,000 people on an email list. There's another congregation. You go to the search engines, and the search engines, obviously everyone's coming to Google. There's a million different places. So you can't, there's not really people sorting themselves. But what's cool about it is people go into Google and they type in potato gun, and suddenly now the 15,000 people a month who are searching for potato gun have all self-categorized themselves into a community that I can now add. I can put my ads. When people search potato gun, show my ad. People search hair bows, show my ad, because they're self-congregating themselves. Does that make sense? So my business, I don't get a lot into the tacticals. You guys will spend a lot of time tomorrow working with our guys on the tactical stuff. This is how you do SEO, how you do PPC, how you do all these kind of things. And the tactics are good, but they're not the way you make the money is understanding the concept behind it. Who's my target market? Where are they congregating? Now, how can I get to those people? Okay, this is the site they're on. What can I do on that site? This person's got an email list. They got banner ads. They got however I can do to mine that vein of gold. And there's a lot of ways to do it. Okay, but my whole goal as a marketer is I'm trying to find out where those veins of gold are at. Does that make sense? Okay, so the target market is just, I don't know, people don't spend enough time on it. They always come down to tactics, how to do SEO, how to do PPC. Don't focus on that. Focus on what I talked about. Who's my target market? Where are they congregating? And the cool thing about it is there's a lot of target markets. Like my main market is teaching people how to make money online, right? And so you think, okay, who wants to make money online? Well, traditionally it's people who want to make money online. So you go to the Make Money Online forums. But think about this. Who else wants to make money online? People who are trying to make money in real estate probably would like to make money online, right? So now it opens up a whole other target market of people who are real estate investors. Now I have a whole other niche of people I can go after. Okay? With Chad's business, with the chiropractor business, he's got people who they got in a car wreck and they got a hurt back. And if he said that's my target market, that's a small target market. Only people I can sell to are people who have a hurt back. Okay, how many other niches can you go after? You got people with fibromyalgia you can bring. You got people with, how many niches do you have, how many target markets do you have that you can service?
A whole lot.
Yeah. So you think about that, because most people think of again, they look at, here's my target market. What you don't realize is that's one target market. There's so many other splinter groups that they can feed back into what it is you're doing. And so the goal then is come back again and start identifying this. So what I like to do is I like to sit down with a pad of paper and say, who's my target market? My target market for this is, let's say, real estate investors. Where are they congregating? I'll find 10 sites that I know they're congregating on. Okay, who else is my target market? I could also sell this to chiropractors. Where are they congregating? Here's 10 sites they're congregating. Okay, who else can I sell this to? And start figuring out all the different target markets you have, find out where they're congregating, and then set up a plan. I'm going to go out there and, for these guys, it was pay-per-click, SEO, and mommy blogs. Other people are going to be joint ventures and something else. Everyone's got different things, but that's when you start going after and start doing the tactics of actually attacking those people and getting them from these people's websites back to yours. And one of the big mistakes a lot of people make is they always say, hey, I need to learn how to create traffic online. The reality is your goal is not to ever create traffic. Traffic's already out there. People are already out there online. Your goal, again, is to find out where are the veins of gold and how do I get them coming back to my website. Okay, so for example, let's say this is my squeeze page. My squeeze page is a free video revealing the #1 secret to whatever. So I'm in this forum. My ads are going to be like, hey, if you want a free video about the #1 secret to this, go check this out. So my ads, again, the whole value ladder we talked about before, it starts even clear back to the ads. First thing I'm doing is I'm offering free stuff. Hey, come get a free video. They're going to come here, they're going to give me my name, email address, and I start putting them through the value ladder. Does that kind of make sense? Okay, so there's that. On a blog, what does your banner ad say on the, is the banner ad you guys are putting on your mommy blogs? What's the banner say? What's the message on it?
Free teaching instructions, or free hairball instructions, because and then we direct them to the squeeze page and they can get the free instructions.
Okay. That's a lot of people always ask me that. Where do I send these people to? That's where it's your squeeze page. Your squeeze page is giving a free something, so your ad should be, here's a free something. Okay, and you're putting your ads in the blogs, the forums, PPC, SEO, all the different things we're going to be teaching about. Yeah?
Would that be a good place to put a questionnaire, like you did with the potato gun, to get tell them to building something?
Exactly. Yeah, his question was, for your Ask campaign, is this a good place to put it before? And that's definitely, when I went down the potato gun, I didn't have I put up a PPC campaign, I went to the forum, and I said, hey, everyone in this forum, I got a question, go ask it. So yeah, definitely a great place to. And that's a fast way. If you don't want to spend money or don't know how to do PPC or whatever, and you want to get your Ask campaign figured out, filled out fast, that's the best way. Go to a forum and get everyone in the forum to come in and fill out the form. Okay, so with that said, there are a lot of ways to drive traffic. I want to walk you through the process. What I would focus on first, second, and third. And then what's going to happen tomorrow, like I said, you're going to go and you're going to spend time with a lot of different people in our company, and everyone's got their thing that they're good at in driving traffic. And we got, like, Mason's going to be here. Mason's our PPC guy, and that guy loves numbers and metrics and math and all that kind of stuff, and he's really good at that. Now, I look at that kind of stuff. I would rather die than set up a PPC campaign. There's few things on earth that would be more painful to me than to try to figure out how to do a PPC campaign. But for him, he loves it. Okay, and some of you guys are going to relate to that. Some of you guys are going to be like, yes, I'm a numbers person. I want to do this, this, and this. Okay, for me, I'm more of a joint venture guy. Brent's going to be talking to you tomorrow about affiliate stuff. That's more me. I like to get on the phone with someone, get to know them, set up a deal, and do a promotion. Can you talk to Mason? Mason would rather die than pick up the phone and have to talk to someone. He wants to be on the computer logging and looking at numbers, whereas I'd rather die than do what he does. So all of you guys, we're going to teach you 5 or 6 different traffic strategies, like the core ones. And then the goal is not to get you overwhelmed and say, crap, I got to do 5 or 6 traffic strategies. The goal is to say which one of these things resonates most with you, with your personality. Am I the kind of guy who wants to get joint ventures? Am I the kind of guy who wants to do SEO? The kind of guy who wants to do PPC? Like I said, these guys haven't done joint ventures at all yet, and that's my favorite thing, and they're focusing more on these other things. Everyone's going to have something they're better at, and that's why we have so many different groups tomorrow. So I want you guys to see, just have an experience of all of them and figure out which one of them relates best to you, and then that's the one you should be focusing on. Does that make sense? So don't try to do all of them. There's no reason to. Okay, but if you were me, this is the process I would go through. I think I have it in page, page number 3. I call it 4 Underachiever Pillars. So the first step of the process is, we talked about earlier, we have your blog here, right? I'm not going to talk about all the tactics behind it, but your blog is kind of your central headquarters. As soon as you get your blog up, you want to start blogging. Because as soon as you start blogging, the SEO time clocks start, and a whole bunch of things start happening. So as soon as you get your blog up, start blogging as quick as you can. But I'll be focusing on this. Now, your blogging strategy is not like fast, I'm going to make money tomorrow type thing. It's an SEO strategy. It's search engine optimization. It's going to take longer. It's a slower process. But it's the kind of thing that, like you look at here's the timeline of your business. It's going to go like this. It's going to take it takes a while to take off. Takes a while. And somewhere here it goes like this and just goes, whoo. Okay. And so what happens is most people, they either try this their whole business, they give up because they're not making any money. And a lot of people, this is the first thing they focus on, and then after a month, like, screw this sucks, I'm done. But they don't realize that this is how SEO and blogging works. That's the path. Where other people who, so that's the first thing. There's other kind of traffic, like paid traffic, like you talked about before. The reason they had $5,000 the first month, they were doing this stuff, but it wasn't bringing any money yet. It was pay-per-click. They were bringing paid traffic, so they get paid traffic immediately, but paid traffic, you're kind of flatlining at this. Joint ventures work like this. You get a whole bunch of traffic, and then it stops. And then you get a whole bunch of traffic, and it stops. It's a whole bunch of traffic, and it stops. Okay, so ideally, you want to do one that you're really good at, and then add a second one, and add a third one. But you need to realize kind of the pros and cons of each. If you're focusing 100% on SEO and blogging, this is what's going to happen. It's going to take a little bit of time, and then it can ramp up. If you need to make money like tomorrow, focus on joint ventures, because that's the only thing that can get you money tomorrow, or pay-per-click, or things like that. Does that kind of make sense? Okay, so for me, if I was starting out from scratch, I was setting my blog, and that'd be first thing is starting my blogging. And I'm going to be very consistent with it. Okay, consistency is the game with SEO and everything. Every single week, I'm going to add about 2 to 3 blog posts. Every single week, consistently start growing this line right here. As soon as I stop blogging, it just kind of starts over the whole thing. So keep this a consistent thing. You're blogging about 3 times a week, blogging something to your blog. Okay, and when you're with Taggart on the SEO section, we'll talk to you about keywords and all sorts of stuff. You're picking keywords you're focusing on, and you're going to be blogging about them 3 times a week. Okay, and that could be, it's like a 500-word article. So it takes you maybe 20, 30 minutes 3 times a week. And that's about the time you guys are spending with your business. 20, 30 minutes, knock out something like that, post it up there, and that's the first step. And Taggart will teach you other things you're doing where you're setting up sites that are pointing back to here, a whole bunch of SEO stuff, but that's something that's consistent that you're doing from day one, but you don't count on millions of dollars coming from that. That would be the first underachiever strategy for traffic I'd be focusing on is the blogging. Okay? Now the second thing I'll be focusing on is going into the communities. Okay? The forums, things like that, the blogs, other blogs, because this is kind of your central hub. Second thing I'd be coming out here and saying, okay, over here, here's a blog that is getting a whole bunch of traffic. I'm going to come and start commenting on this person's blog or buying ads on their blog or things like that. Okay, here's a forum over here. I'm going to go over there. I'm going to post a couple messages to the forum with links coming back to my site. These are the second traffic strategy I'm going to do. Partially because I'm getting links back and other stuff, but also partially I'm trying to start building relationships. Okay, for me, this whole thing is a relationship game. Right now, if I was to, in fact, we had some business problems in January where our merch accounts got shut down for a little while. A whole bunch of problems came into it, and we for 5 or 6 weeks we had no cash flow coming to our business. And we have a big business. You guys see, we've got 80 some odd employees. We got a lot of overhead, things like that. You lose cash flow for that much time. It's a scary thing. But my relationships is what pulled me through that. I called some buddies on the phone. I said, look, dude, I got no money coming in. I don't want to shut down the shop. What can we do? We had people lending us their merchant accounts. We had people promoting their lists. All sorts of stuff happened, and our company was safe and fine because the relationships we built. So from day one, you launch this business, first you want to start building relationships with people, with the bloggers, with the forum owners, with people that have lists, because that's going to be the greatest assets you'll have in your business is the relationships you're building, the people you're networking with. So I'll be focusing a lot on that. There's a book that, I actually haven't read the book, but I bought it because the title was really good. And the title was so good, I got the gist of it, and I felt like I owed the guy $12 because I got the idea from it. But the book was called Dig Your Well Before You're Thirsty. Okay, this is the problem. I'm talking about Nicole that screens all my emails and phone calls and stuff. I said we get between 30 and 50 people every single week asking me to promote their products and their services and this and that kind of stuff. And it's just a horrible thing. And the first contact me is, hey Russell, how's it going? I got this really cool product. Can you promote it for me? That's the initial thing. And so you don't want to be that guy, because if someone's got a big list of 500,000 people and you come to them and like, hey, how's it going? I got this deal. I got my own product. You can promote it. We'll split the money. We'll be rich. I get that pitch every single day over and over and over again. It's not, of course I can promote your product and make you rich, but what's the value you bring to the table? It's all about relationships, coming back and building a relationship first. Okay? If you build a relationship first, like I said, it's you spend time where you're on their site, you buy their products, you send them compliments, you do all sorts of great stuff like that. You build a relationship. Now, in a month from now, 2 months from now, 5 months from now, whenever your product's done, those things are done. Now it's an easy relationship. Say, hey, by the way, I got this product done. Are you interested in looking at it? Anyone ever read The 4-Hour Work Week? I talked about that earlier. Where I met that guy, I asked him, because his book was like, overnight just blew up. It was on all the bestseller lists. He was on news, it just blew up, I thought overnight. And I was talking to him, I was like, how did you do that? He said, he's like, well, I was writing this book, and he's like, I spent about 2 years writing my book. I was slow about it. But he's like, during that time when I met all the bloggers, like I go to every blogging convention, I get to know them, I became friends with them, I send them gifts. I was digging my well before I was thirsty. And I spent time on getting to know these people, all that kind of stuff. Just after 2 years, people started asking me, what do you do for a living? He's like, oh, just some stuff. I'm writing a book and things like that. And they said, what's the book? Oh, I'll tell you about it later. I'll tell you about it later. He kept putting him off. And after 2 years, he said, my book's done. He sent these guys a copy. Hey, this is my book. Just check it out if you're interested. And these bloggers went out there, and like all the major bloggers across the whole internet started blogging about this guy's book like crazy because he built relationships. Spent 2 years building relationships with these bloggers, put his book out there, and like the guy, I've seen very few books ever sell as many as his sold, and he's still doing great with it just because of the blogging communities. And it all came back to building relationships before he was thirsty. So don't be like, oh, I'm going to contact my JV partners after my product's done. No, that's the worst thing. Go contact now. Start building relationships. Promote their products. Buy their products. Give them testimonies. Whatever it takes to get on the good side, that's really, really important. So I'd be doing that. I'd be going to communities, networking, those kind of things. Third thing I'd be focusing on is now starting to do the affiliate stuff, trying to get the affiliates on board. Brent's going to be talking to us tomorrow all about affiliate marketing. We do a lot of stuff to drive traffic in our company. I would still say about 85% of all of our traffic, maybe a little more, comes from affiliate stuff, from doing joint ventures and affiliate and having affiliates promote our products. This is where you find somebody else that already has a big email list, someone else already has a blog with a lot of traffic, someone else already has stuff, and you do a relationship. Hey, I'll give you 50% of the sales, I'll give you 75% of the sales, whatever it is. They promote your stuff, and everybody wins. Okay, so that's the next one I focus on. And the last one I start focusing on is the paid stuff. The PPC, the banners, the email buying, all the other stuff is what I focus on last. Now, some of you guys may like the paid stuff a lot more than me. Some of you guys are going to focus on that very first. But that's the direction I would start going if I was to start my business from scratch. That's the direction I went with my business. Now, when I first got started, let me walk you through my process. And this, when I started, it was before blogs and a lot of the cool stuff we have nowadays. But I went out there and created that software product. Paid that guy $120, created a software product, put it up there, and I didn't know how to sell it. I was like, I got a site, everything was done, but I had no idea how to do it. So I went out there and I found one forum, and I started going to the forum. I started posting messages in the forum and saying, just not like selling anything, just kind of trying to add to the conversation. Started talking to people and just posting messages and trying to not be the annoying guy, but just, I was a new guy in the crowd, just want to get to know people. I didn't advertise anything at all. And after about a week or two of that, I started, I added what's called a signature file. So I'd post a comment and underneath to say, Russell Brunson, by the way, if you want a free video about this, click here. That was all it was. And what happened, because I had kind of been on the forums a little bit, building a relationship, people started seeing that, and they started seeing my posting, and they started clicking on the links. So I was doing some basic networking, but basically just posting on these forums where I already knew the community was at. And that first month, I made $1,200 in sales of my software product. Just off that one forum, just posting a couple messages a day, that type of thing. Now, what happened is that first month while I was there, I met a whole bunch of really cool people. I met this one guy, his name was Mike Filsame, and he had a cool product. I bought his product, it was like $30. I sent him a testimonial for it. I called him on the phone, I was like, dude, their product is awesome. Thanks so much for having that there. He's like, oh, cool, no worries. What are you doing? I'm like, oh, this is my first product I ever created. And he's like, what is it? And I showed him, he's like, oh, that's cool. He's like, want me to promote it? And I was like, I would love for you to do it. And at the time, he had a list of like 10,000 people. It wasn't a big deal. He sent an email out to his list, and we made like an extra like $1,800 in sales from that. So I also made like $1,200 from my own additional efforts. So that month I made $3,000. I was like, dang, that was awesome. So I took those results, and I found like 3 or 4 of the people I met on the forum. I said, hey, just Mike promote this, and I sent him a check for like $800. And they're like, oh, that's awesome. And so I had 3 or 4 other people the next month that said, I'll try it out. And they sent out, and again, these guys' lists weren't like millions of people. It was like 10,000, it was 5,000, it was 300 here, just little tiny ones. The next month I had 3 or 4 people promote it, and that month we did $5,000. And just kept growing and growing. And from that, people were pushing people to my squeeze page. They were joining my list. My list started growing and growing. And that was kind of the process of how I got started. That's really the way it works. And again, like I talked to you guys before, it's not going to be let's make $1 million overnight. It's going to be like we're pushing this thing. Oh, okay, we made a little bit of money. We're building our list. It's growing. And most people quit right here, and they're like, oh, I'm done. Most people go a little farther. Oh, I quit. In fact, it still pisses me off. So we had a lady that came to a seminar 8, 9 months ago. It was like 3 times ago. Brent knows what I'm talking about. She came through, brilliant lady. I was impressed. She created a product, got all up there, launched the whole thing, and her first week made $3,000, $4,000 in sales off it. Anyway, then we heard her, and she wasn't paying her affiliate stuff like that. I called her up, like, what's going on? She's like, oh, I give up. Like, what are you talking about? She's like, I launched this thing, only made $3,000. I'm like, you made $3,000 your first week and you quit. She's like, well, everyone on the internet talks about how you make all this kind of money, and that was really hard work, and I don't want to do it again, and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, you made $3,000 your first week from 1 or 2 joint ventures, everything's built. All you gotta do is now ask another person next week, another person, and just keep that process going. And within 3 or 4 months now, you're gonna have a list of a couple thousand people. Now I'm like, again, she was like this, and having success, she's like, oh, this sucks. I walked away. I'm just like, you're that close to like the success line, and she walked away. I don't want you guys doing that. I want you guys to understand this is the process. It's going to take a little while. You're going to push. You're going to have some problems. You're going to push. You have some problems. But as soon as it gets going, as soon as you get that ball rolling, then it's like you can't stop it. Right now, we have traffic coming to our sites. I mean, you guys the same way. You can't turn it off. Like one time, we stopped selling the product, and we took the site down, and people started complaining, like, why did you take the site down? I want to buy it. I'm like, how do you even know about the site? Like, I haven't talked about it. The contest site. The contest. We shut the contest site down over a year ago. And then last week, we put it back up because I couldn't find the login for something I needed inside the members area. We put it up, and I forgot to tell the guy to take it back down. Anyway, that night we had 3 sales come to that page. On a random, weird page, I have no idea how people even found it. Wow. It just blew my mind that that's even possible, okay? That's what happens after you start getting the stuff going. But it doesn't happen overnight. But after you get it going, it just happens, and sales will come in, whether you're doing it or not. I mean, do you guys know where half your sales even come from? Or do you know anywhere sales come from? Just random, like...
We know some. Other ones we don't know. I mean, I have a Christmas product, and we sell it all year round, and I don't understand why.
Yeah, isn't that a great problem to have? Remember my first thing, I remember I wanted eBay. This is like 10 years ago. I first started this whole thing. And this guy had this cool like DVD or CD that had all these like cartoon coloring book things. And I asked him if I could buy rights from him. He's like, yeah. So I paid him like $100. He gave me the rights. So I put it to the website, and they buy it, and I had to like burn the CD and mail it out to him. And it was such a big pain in the butt. It was like $15. And I put it up once. I never did any kind of marketing. And at first I did a little bit, and then I kind of stopped because I got tired of like burning the CD and shipping it out. And every single month I would sell like 10 of those things. And I get the CD, and I get so frustrated because I had to burn the CD, mail it back out. And like I could not, I'm like, how did you guys find this site? There's no way that it's even possible. But again, it comes back to if you do it right, like talking about, if you're consistent with this kind of thing, you're doing these pieces here, you're doing the blogging stuff, you're doing joint ventures, you're doing the article, all the stuff you're going to learn about tomorrow, all these things, if you're consistent with it, it's not always $1 million overnight, but it's boom, it's pushing, it's building lists, and there's a point in there. And it might be 3 months, it might be 6 months, it might be a year, it might be 2 years. There's a point where you hit critical mass, and all of a sudden, it's like you can't turn it off. You got a list, you send an email out, you make money. Traffic's coming, like it's a really cool thing, but a lot of times we think that's what's going to happen tomorrow, and because of that, we give up too fast. And I don't want you guys giving up too fast because, again, this stuff works. It's just about being consistent, working the process, and if you do that, you're going to see the results. I've seen over and over again. And those who don't, they give up too fast, and it just ends. Okay? All right. Any questions about that right now? Like I said, tomorrow you mean it'll dig in a lot more into the tactical parts about how to drive traffic, the actual specifics, the nuts and bolts, all that kind of stuff. I just want to get you guys to really understand the conceptual behind it. There's really, as the entrepreneur, your goal, again, is not to do everything. It's to understand who's my target market, where are they congregating, and then how can I get to those people? Is it to hire an SEO guy? Is it to hire this? Is it to do this? But as long as you know those 2 questions, who they are and where they're at, now it's just an easy process. Let's find them. Let's figure out how in the world we can get to those people. Okay, if you look at my key role in the business right now, it's not, obviously the product development stuff, but my marketing stuff, I'm not running PPC campaigns. I'm not doing SEO. I'm not doing those kind of, I don't do the affiliate stuff. What I'm doing is I'm trying to find out where's new veins of gold I can find. Here's a website over here. This is our target market. There's like 300,000 people. How can we, these guys, Brent, you go talk to the affiliate guy. You do the SEO. You do this, and we start mining that gold mine. But your goal should be, again, where's the veins of gold at? Where are these congregations at? Where are these communities at? I can find the people, tap into it, get my ads out there, and drive people back into my squeeze page, to my sales page, and through the whole funnel. When you do that, it gets really, really exciting. You guys have seen the results of these guys, how exciting it can be when it starts working. But it's just a little bit of a process. So anyway, any other questions right now? So here it felt like they got a couple good ideas. Okay, good. Awesome.